Nothing ever gets better with neglect. Okay. It just gets neglected. It gets rotted. It decomposes. Things just fall apart. Relationships fall apart. And you can't do that with your body. It's not going to be with you as long as it should if you continue on that path. Welcome everybody to another amazing episode, as usual, of the Jacque Show. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 3 reasons why you're not getting results in your health journey. So buckle up, we're going to go on this ride together, and I'm going to try to make this short and sweet and to the point because I think that these 3 things will kind of summarize where a lot of people have been struggling with healing, with health, with their journey, and then it leads to frustration. And then what I'll see is that frustration will lead you away from the natural route and lead you back to medicine, where basically you just make yourself a slave to medicine for the rest of your life. So my goal as a holistic health practitioner, naturopathic health expert, is to be able to help you to finalize, what that underlying cause is that's causing your body to respond the way that it has. Because symptoms are just a fire alarm letting us know that something's not going properly or not working properly in the body. When we have those fire alarms that go off, as a human, it is our responsibility to not cover it up, but to investigate, to figure out why. And this week, the first week of March, like the amount of things that I've heard from new patients coming in and the symptoms and things that they're going through, and then they're seeking help from all of these experts, whether it's for fertility or it's for GI specialists, etc. When I ask basic questions, about testing or about what they try to do, they're missing so much of the boat, because what these doctors are doing is they're pigeonholing you into one organ system problem. So if you have high blood pressure, they treat the heart, right? If you've got digestive distress, they bastardize it, but they try to figure out what's going on with your gut. If you have depression, quite honestly, they don't care. They're just going to give you an antidepressant. They're all about suppressing your natural symptoms, and your body's not doing anything to hurt you. Your body's doing this to say, hey, this has been 20, 30 years. Like, I'm trying to get your attention right now, and you're choosing not to pay attention. So I'm going to make you pay attention. And then that's where people will be in that reactive state. They're like, oh my gosh, my health, where the hell did it go? How did this get this way? I don't know what happened, so on and so forth. So these 3 things that we're going to go over today is hopefully going to help you to outline where you need to go, not just now, but also into the future. And then when you're going through certain health struggles, I want you to use these 3 things as a template to get you in the right direction. So let's dive into it. Number 1 is the Amazon Prime time. Everyone wants results now. Everyone. They don't want to work for it. They want it handed to them. And they want to be able to get up and go work their 9 to 5 or go conquer the world, whatever it might be, right? So we're talking about people who are entering into the health realm. Maybe they were healthy before. In previous podcasts, I had mentioned 3 types of people. And, the standard American is we wait until a problem happens. We don't really invest into our health really ever as Americans, but we don't invest into our health and think differently until something happens. We don't seek counsel until our knee explodes or we got blood coming out of our ears or our nose. We're like, I don't know what happened. Where do I go? Right? So when we're in that model, we typically go somewhere, right? We brought out the blood pressure example. And so we're trained that all you have to do is take this medication. That's it. Just take it, move about your day, return to your activities of daily living, keep working as hard as you have been. They never address diet and lifestyle, even though the commercials will tell you if diet and lifestyle hasn't helped correct this problem, then you may need blah, 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 right? When we're stuck in that realm and we're like, hey, I need something now. I need to get back to work now. I don't have time to wait now. I need to do this now. Before I was a parent, I was like, I don't understand why people would be willing to kind of sacrifice themselves like that and be like, oh, I just need to take this to go about their day. Because I'm like, if I needed to take a day or two off just to kind of lick my wounds and take a sick day, which I don't even remember the last time I had a sick day, but if I had to do that, I would be able to do that. And I would be able to allow my body to do what my innate intelligence chooses to, which is heal me. So that's how we would kind of approach things. Now, when we talk about actually seeking to find the cause, first off, the analysis, the lifestyle review, those types of things, those consultations, they take a lot of time. Not just while, like, say, I'm on the phone with you, but I'm studying. Whether you have 15 minutes, half hour, or full hour with me, I'm studying your entire case history. The paperwork that took you probably an hour and a half to be able to fill out, that was stuff I already reviewed. So we go into this lifestyle habit. I'm like, listen, I go back as far as like, were you breastfed? What type of birth did you have? Did you have cesarean section for yourself? Or have you had pregnancies that ended up in cesarean section? What's your bowel movements like? What's your bowel transit time like? So I want to know so many things, so many personal things about you, because I want to treat you just like that as a person, as a whole, hence holistic, everything, brain, body connected. There is no separation. Everything is intertwined. And that's where medicine, another place where medicine will fail, is they only treat you for the organ system that seems to be throwing off the fire alarm. But they don't understand the concept of response organs. So again, blood pressure. Well, if your blood pressure goes up, is it because you just had a near-death experience right down the street? Or did you stub your toe? Did you break your knee? Do you have a stomach infection? What's causing it? Or did you have 15 gallons of caffeine and you're like, I don't know why my heart's going nuts right now? Well, figure out those lifestyle habits and see if one of those lifestyle habits did cause that to happen. Again, your body is designed to adapt to its environment, both external as well as internal. And the better our bodies are able to do that, the healthier we are. Okay? So again, just to reiterate that, our body's goal is to be able to protect us and adapt both to the external environment as well as our internal environment. So if we take our bodies, I'm going to be going to the North Woods of Minnesota here in 2 weeks. I'm going to be freezing my butt off. Temperatures, it was like -7, which it was 90 degrees here yesterday. I'm going to freeze a little bit. It's going to be chilly, right? But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be allowing my body to adapt to a new external stimuli and allow my body to then become healthier because it now knows the ranges to keep me within, which is our happy homeostasis, right? And I went off on tangents on all of this, but the point is, in our Amazon Prime world, where we expect packages same day, 3 hours from now I could do, hey, I want to pay $2 extra and I want my package to be here in 3 hours. I want it to be here before noon. Why? Because I don't know. Because apparently I need it really bad. I could do that, right? And then when it comes to your standard mail, if somebody sends something in the mail, it takes like a week and you're like, oh my God, it took so long. And we're like 2 states over. How did it take that long? We are addicted to the quick fix, to the quick hit. We don't have the time. Okay, we don't have the time to sit with our symptoms, to fully analyze, why do I have anxiety right now? Did I have a really bad experience? Have I been eating inflammatory food? Did I maybe have too much caffeine close to bed? I can't rest my head at nighttime. Do I have like a horrible relationship with my spouse? And that's like every time I get into bed, I feel that negative energy kind of clashing, sparks, not the good sparks, but like negative sparks of friction there. And again, not the good friction, I guess. I'm going to stop using those analogies. But when we get into the health model, right? We're like, listen, we're used to just taking one thing, headache's gone, blood pressure's regulated, thyroid is supposedly normal, hormones are supposedly regulated. And then when I'm like, listen, this can take a year. People are like, you can what now? It can take a year? It's like, well, listen, it's not going to take a year for your body to feel better. It's going to take a year for the change that we make to stick and for your body to adapt. And honestly, it depends. Not everybody is with me for a year, but it depends on what you're going through and then when your body's able to ultimately be able to release you, because everybody's body heals a little bit differently. So one of the top reasons why people fail on their health journeys is they have this man-made time given on a God-given event, in my opinion, okay? Our bodies are going to heal when our bodies choose to heal. If we continue to have these thorns in our side, these stubbed toes, these stomach infections, etc., our bodies will never be able to be fully healthy. It doesn't matter how many medications you have, okay? Because how many medications do you need for you to be healthy? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 5? 10? How many do you need? Right? Because most of us judge our health off of how we look or how we feel. So if I have 10 medications and don't feel anything at all, technically by that definition, I'm super healthy. Yet every single organ, cell, and tissue in my body is being sacrificed by those medications that I'm taking. So time, and expectations of time. Trust your practitioner. Like, listen, this is going to take some time. It's going to take some work. This is going to take some personal reflection on all of these things that you need to do as the patient, not necessarily that I need to do. I'm here to coach you. I'm here to help you to make those proper switches or adaptations, or refer you to people to be able to help in terms of therapy, relationship coaches, men development, female development, whatever it is. I've got kind of tools in my tool belt everywhere here. But the goal is to allow you to be able to adapt your lifestyle. Because at the end of the day, your symptom was created due to your diet and lifestyle. If we never address your diet and lifestyle, well then, you're not going to be better. You're not going to keep that change. You're just going to shift back into that same lifestyle that made you sick to begin with. That's what medications allow. And it allows neglect. When was the last time when I had this conversation with Sarah, I'm going to be doing a podcast with her, but when was the last time anything ever improved with neglect? And I said, barring, whiskey or bourbon aged or, barrels or wine, barring that stuff, nothing ever gets better with neglect. Okay. It just gets neglected. It gets rotted. It decomposes. Things just fall apart. Relationships fall apart. And you can't do that with your body. It's not going to be with you as long as it should if you continue on that path. So it's really important. That time piece is probably the most important thing whenever it comes to embarking on that health journey, that you have to have an expectation. It's going to take some time. And I can't tell you, practitioners can't tell you exactly how long it's going to take based off of, how well your body adapts, or how many infections you might have, or what your current stress level is, or if you're in a moldy home, or if you're in a moldy relationship, or you have a horrible relationship, or you have a bad relationship with your parents and they just talk down on you and they're constantly chirping in your ear, or you have horrible friends, or you drink all the time. So the quicker we can change your diet and lifestyle, set those healthy boundaries, and set you on a course for a proper trajectory towards health, the faster the results will come. There will always be speed bumps along the way. This is also something really important with the timepiece, is that we have what I nickname the curse of results. People will get results very, very quickly when they work with me. And it's awesome. I love it. I'm super happy for them. But usually on that month where, say they have an MSQ score, medical symptom questionnaire score, which means normal is below 20, basically. If somebody has 150, which is an insane amount of symptoms that are going on, that's high level, right? And so if you go from 150, we get a month where you're down to 10. They're like, yes, I did it. I'm there. I'm so happy. That's when the cheat meal comes. That's when they slowly start to see how many things they can get away with. They have a food sensitivity list. Well, maybe I'm going to try to eat some beef today. Even though it's on my list, I'm going to try beef. I'm going to try egg. I'm going to try. And so there's this little self-sabotage. And we'll have a concept these things are getting worse, but I tried eating these foods and I didn't really notice any inflammation, or I didn't notice this. I'm like, curse of results strikes again. It takes time. It does. It takes time. The speed bumps are usually going to be due to the curse of results, because you'll be doing great linear trajectory going up, and then all of a sudden you'll dip down in terms of how well you're feeling because you change your diet. And you're like, well, I'm going to let this in. I'm going to let a little dairy in. I'm going to let a little alcohol in. And then it comes down. And then you meet with me. I'm like, hey, knock it off. We're not there yet. And then boom, trajectory goes back up again. So there's always going to be speed bumps along the way. You have to just make sure that you keep yourself moving on that same trajectory until we hit that new point. We're given 100% in our lives. When we're born, our potential, our amazingness, our divinity is 100%. As we grow, as we're raised, as we go through our own life experiences, we start to tamper down our divinity because we're told that we can't do something. We're told that that's not for us. I was listening to Stephen Furtick yesterday. He was talking about we're a bird in a fishbowl. We try to do all these things and fit into an environment that we don't really fit into. And so I don't know why I just plugged that. But so you'll go on these trajectories, and you'll just go on these trajectories, and you'll keep kind of suppressing yourself down. And then again, curse of results will keep going up and down, and you'll suppress yourself further. And quite honestly, I forgot where I was going with that. I got too excited about the Furtick reference. But anyways, time. Make sure that you are aware make sure that you are aware that time has everything to do with your healing journey. And our goal as holistic practitioners is to get you to a point where we have de-educated you and re-educated you enough that you can then carry on these traits. All right, you can carry them on to your family, to your spouse, to your kids, to your grandkids, to your great grandkids, right? So the sooner we adapt the diet and lifestyle and set those proper boundaries up, the more that we can be congruent with our protocols that we build, the faster the results will come. So if you want the fastest results, do exactly what we have laid out there and be fully transparent and fully honest with me. I turn a lot of my consults on a monthly basis turn into therapy sessions a lot of the times, and it's fine. I already did all the work behind the scenes for my patients. I already know where protocol is going to be going. I may need to do a couple little changes along the way, but I'm here for you as a practitioner, as a doctor. I want to make sure that I know what you're going through. And if you have nobody else to talk to, you can talk to me. Now, I'm not a therapist, but I've got a great listening ear. And the amount of situations and circumstances that I've seen over the years of me doing this, or the thousands of patients I've worked with, I have seen a lot of the same patterns repeat themselves, not just for a patient, but like if one patient's experienced one thing, well, then another patient will come to me a month or a year later, they'll be going through the same exact thing. And I'll be able to give some basic advice. And hey, again, I'm not a therapist, but this is what I've seen work in the past. Maybe try that out. And they'll come back the next month and be like, I feel fantastic. I go, yeah, of course you do. Okay. So time, and not Amazon Prime. Okay. Now, you can still use Amazon Prime if you want to, but when it has expectations on your health, you can't expect 2-day Prime. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is going to be the one that I always love to hear: wrong doctor. Going to the wrong doctor. This one's going to be short and sweet. If you're going to a doctor that every time you go there, they run the same tests as they've run previously, a CBC, a CMP, just this basic low-level test of like how are your blood cells, what your platelets doing, how's your liver enzymes. Like, they're good tests, but those are symptom tests. They're not cause tests. So you go there, and every time you go there, they're like, don't worry, I got a medication for you. Boom, try this one. Boom, try that one. Boom, try that one. Or if you've listened to the commercials and it says, ask your doctor about AstraZeneca, then you go to the doctor and say, hey, can I have some AstraZeneca? And if they're like, yeah, sure, there you go. That's a bad doctor. You're going to a drug dealer, right? Because you're looking for a fix. Literally, you're looking for a fix in a pill form. Drugs to a T. And so if you're trying to go through a health journey, first off, medicine and medical doctors are not going to get you healthy. They do not have the capability to be able to make you healthy. They don't have the capability, they don't have the training, they don't have the patience, and all their tools that they have are drugs and surgery. Neither one of those makes you healthier. They can allow you to survive, but they do not make you healthier. All right, because say someone would be like, oh my gosh, my gallbladder is going to explode. Okay, come to me first. I'll put you on a gallbladder flush. You won't have to get your gallbladder removed. Okay, or they'll be like, oh my gosh, my gallbladder was really inflamed. And so I had to get it taken out, and it saved my life. Like, but did they tell you that you needed to take something to support your fat emulsification and your digestion? Crickets. No, they don't. Right? Again, I had a patient who had her gallbladder removed, and then she had a hysterectomy, I think 10 years later. Well, the hormones are going to be massively impacted because you're not going to be able to synthesize fat. You're not going to be able to use it. And you need fat, you need that cholesterol to be able to make steroid hormones, your sex hormones. So there's these basic things that, again, if you keep going to medical doctors expecting health, you're never going to get it. You're just going to be kept being led down the wrong path. Really, you're going to be led out to slaughter, right? And again, it can allow you to survive, but I'm not about surviving through life. I'm about thriving through life, right? Because I want limitless health. I want to be able to do absolutely anything that I want to do, short of me having fear of heights or claustrophobia. Don't lock me in a small room. And don't take me on top of a gigantic mountain, which I learned in Sedona. I am afraid of heights. I'll do it, but I'm afraid of them, right? So that's the wrong doctor. Now, medicine aside, right? This is where we start slipping into the more traditional type practitioners, holistic practitioners, naturopaths, functional medicine practitioners. Just trying to think of like some other ones. So we'll address naturopaths and functional medicine practitioners, basically the same, right? There are a lot of allopathic, holistic practitioners, which means if you go into a naturopath's office. They run the same blood work that you would run if you went to a medical doctor, or they might run some deviation like, oh, that looks special. And then they give you the holistic equivalent to a medication, okay? Which means they treated the symptom. Short and sweet, they treated the symptom. If you're going to a doctor that continues to treat symptoms, they're no better than a medical doctor, okay? Again, I've talked about this before, they're not. So don't be afraid to say, hey, you know what? You've helped me maintain symptoms or a decent level of quality of health. I need to go to a cause doctor. I need to figure that out. So don't be afraid to doctor shop to make sure that you find the right fit for you, okay? Make sure, and we're going to talk about this, your mindset's right, but make sure that the doctor that you choose to go with, whether it's myself or somebody else, make sure that they are helping you and understanding your goals. If they never really ask what your goals are and what you want out of life and what you're trying to accomplish, then they're not really interested in goal optimization. They're just interested in treating a symptom, okay? And again, with not knowing and I remember what I was saying, with not knowing your 100% potential, you'll get to a point on the cursive results where like, I made it, I hit the finish line, okay? And then what I'll notice, if they don't, take that dip down and cheat a little bit, if they continue on that trajectory a month or 2 months or 3 months down the line, they're like, Doc, I didn't know that my libido was low. Now it's like, oh, it's enjoyable. My wife loves it, right? Or like my recall, like my brain function is fantastic. Like I'm able to do Sudokus, or I'm able to pull down memories and actually recall them and speak. I'm no longer stressed out in business environments. I'm not sweating profusely because I'm so anxious. My anxiety's down. I'm no longer reliant on my blood pressure medication, my thyroid medication. It's like all these layers keep getting peeled back. And people are like, holy cow, I didn't know that there was this much potential out there. And so my goal is to help you to get there, to see that, to envision what your 100% divinity would look like in your body, what your 100% potential is, what you were called to do. My goal is to get you there. Because the healthier I can make you, the clearer conduit I can make you to God or whatever religious figure that you feel, or if you're atheist, it's up to you. But either way, energetically speaking, we can all agree that our bodies are energy, okay? And when we have inflammation, we have a difference in energy, okay? We have a low vibration, so our energy is lower. We develop sickness and disease that way. If we eliminate those causes, then we start to allow you to vibrate at a higher level. You have higher frequencies, therefore you have more downloads, you're able to communicate more, your prayer time is way more successful, your manifestation is like through the roof, it's amazing. So that's where like the exciting part is. I'm like, you don't even know what's out there until we get there. And people every single time are like, oh my gosh, like I did it. Like, that's amazing. You were right. I'm like, yes, I know I was right. Even though you thought I was crazy this entire time. So what's the other piece that goes into this? This is the mindset piece, right? This is probably the piece where a lot of people will kind of falter a little bit. We talked about the time. Time deals with the mindset too. We have to have the proper mindset that it will take time. It will take work. It will take struggle. It will take growth. It will take pain. It will take sacrifice to get you healthy. And this may be sacrificing old friendships. This may be putting boundaries up on family members, or not allowing others to, allow thoughts to kind of permeate into your mind and distract you from what your potential truly is. Because a lot of people start to get that potential there and then they let it go. And why did they let it go? Well, it could have been an aunt or an uncle or a loved one, a mom, a dad was like, you shouldn't do that. And they put that seed of doubt in your head, and your mindset goes down. And you're not able to manifest what you're supposed to. You're not able to heal the way that you're supposed to, because you accepted a negative belief. You made that a belief system. Your conscious mind passed into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind believed it as truth. And therefore, you rewire your body to accept that as truth. There's science behind that. Look it up. Mindset is so, so, so important on the healing journey. All right. Because when we go through the removal phase, you can have some die-off symptoms. When we go through elimination of gluten and dairy, those things are addictive. There are morphine compounds found in gluten and in dairy. There are gluteomorphines and casomorphines, which means they're very addictive, which makes them very difficult to come off of. right? So you have to have that proper mindset. You have to wall yourself up around people who believe in you and people who will support you along the way. But mindset's key. The other thing that's it's not impossible, but the other thing that is possible for people to feel is maybe, they're like, I don't think I can do that. I don't think my body can heal. I was told that this is just a generational thing. Everyone in my family had their gallbladders removed, or everybody in my family had cancer. Everybody in my family had a heart attack by 40. And you believe that. And I'm not saying that, oh, no, they didn't, but like you believe that you're next in line. That's not true. You have the option to accept your generational traditions that get passed down to you, whether it's diet and lifestyle or sedentary behaviors. You have the ability to say, you know what, that worked for you guys, it made you happy, but that does not make me happy. So I'm going to go a different direction here. And the direction I'm going to go is towards health. And your mindset has to be strong through that. You have to believe, right? One of my mentors, Chris Sano, talks about this. You have to believe that it's possible. You have to believe that you're capable, but more importantly, you have to believe that you're worthy. That you are worthy of living the abundant life you were created to have, quote unquote. If you don't feel those things are possible, you're not capable, you're not worthy of it, then it's going to be really difficult for you to be able to healthy because you're constantly going to be your own worst critic, constantly going to be negative. I can't lose weight. I can't get off my thyroid medication. I can't fix my heart. I can't fix my gut. I've always had this. I've always had anxiety. I've always had depression. There's no way. Well, if you, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you believe that to be true, we're going to be butting heads quite a bit through protocols. And it's okay. But I want you to have the proper mindset going into it. If you're coachable, if you're teachable, and you're open to the possibility, all we need is that possibility. All right? Because if it's happened once, it's on the table. It's another thing Zeno used to say. If it happened once, it's too late, guys. It's on the table. If somebody else was able to heal, well, then you can do that too. Same power within them is within you. So believe that it's possible. And then as you start seeing the results, you're like, oh, snap, I'm definitely capable. And then towards the end, you start getting confident, like, yeah, I'm worthy of this. This is amazing. This is exactly what I wanted. So that mindset piece, watch out for, and I think I'm going to do a podcast on this one, but watch out for the naysayers that will come and try to peck at you to bring you down. I am going to do a podcast. I'll probably do that in my next episode. But the stronger your mindset is, the stronger your why is, which is really important. Always have a strong why. Always. If you embark on a health journey, right? And you're like, I'm doing this because my husband wants me to lose 10 pounds. Well, you're not really going to be that invested in this process. And the results are going to show. If you're like, I want to lose 20 pounds to show my kids that it is possible to be healthy. And then I want to pass these traits on to them so that my kids don't have to suffer with being overweight or obese or type 2 diabetes. I'm doing it for them, or I'm doing it for myself. And I want to accomplish this. That's a much stronger mindset, because in those moments of weakness, you can always rely back onto why. Why am I doing this? And if you're like, oh, it's just to make Joe happy or Joe Schmo happy over here. Well, you're like, well, screw Joe Schmo. He's a jerk. And he should love me the way that I am. I should deal with this. And again, I'm not poking fun of like overweight people or anything. I'm just saying that your mindset as to your why needs to be concrete, solid, so that way you can continue on your journey even when people try to throw you off course. Okay? So on your health journey, just to kind of wrap this up, it's a quick summary here. Number one thing, remember the time aspect. Remember the time. Okay? It's going to take time. Anyone who tells you that you're going to be healthy after doing a 3-day cleanse or detox or diet or 6-week this, that, or the other thing, they're full of crap. Please don't believe it. It's going to be a waste of money. And then you're going to come to me a year, 2 years, 3 years later and be like, I don't have any money left because I tried all these other things and I want to work with you. Like, well, I'm a little bit more expensive than these guys. So you probably should have saved your money and invest your money the proper way instead of doing those quick fixes. So number one, time. Number two, find the right doctor. We already talked, listen, and you can combat me if you want to, but think about this logically. No medical doctor is going to bring health into your life. So if you're choosing to try to find health in your medical doctor, you will not be healthy. It will be absolutely impossible. You're using the wrong tools. You're trying to have a plumber fix your roof. It's not going to happen. Okay? If you're in the natural realm already and you've been working with somebody in the naturopath field or the functional medicine field, and like you just don't think that you're getting the results that you're supposed to, it's okay to think that you're not getting the results that you're supposed to. Talk with your clinician about that. Talk to your doc about that and say, listen, I heard this crazy guy on this podcast. He talks about this, that, and the other thing, and I think I need to go in a different direction. If you need to, guess what? You're the one paying for the care. You have the right to bring your money elsewhere to find a place where you will get results. Don't feel bad about that, okay? Protect yourself. You have to be your own health advocate. And the better you can do that, the better you can control who is helping you and guiding you in your health, the better off you'll be. Again, I'll go from a superficial standpoint. You're not going to go to a 500-pound obese person and have them write up a 12-week plan on how to lose, 1,000 pounds in a day. You're not going to take advice from somebody who hasn't been through it themselves. And that's where I kind of flourish too. I've had plenty of health challenges over the years, and now I'm in a space where nothing really ever happens, barring me slipping down the stairs yesterday and twisted my knee a little bit, but that was kind of my fault as I was running down the stairs with my daughter. But anyways, don't be afraid to shop around to find the proper fit for you. Okay. And again, this isn't saying, hey, come and see me. You don't have to come and see me if you don't want to. And not everyone's a proper fit for our office. And that's okay. My goal is to push as many people to start thinking differently, to start investing into their health in any way that they can. Okay. Number 1, time. Number 2, proper doctor. Number 3, mindset. Okay. Even probably in like backwards order, your mindset has to be the number 1 thing. If you are not ready, or if somebody's forcing you to try to do this health journey, you will not take it as seriously. You have to have that proper why. You have to have that proper mindset that's going to push you and catapult you forward, because no one's going to work harder for your goals than you are. All right. Even myself, I have other people help me with my goals because I can help hold everybody else accountable. And whenever it comes to myself, I want to refer out to have other people to just kind of course correct me if need be. No harm in that. But my mindset is always about pushing forward, optimizing more health, more functionality, more life, better relationships, you name it. That's what I'm going for. So if you haven't assessed those 3 things, time, your doctor, or your mindset, try to do that before we embark on your next health journey. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I told you it was going to be short and sweet. I'm excited to roll out the next one about the naysayers. I'm going to come up with a whole probably topic of that. Probably really dive into that quite a bit because it happens a lot. But I love you all. And remember, please go give me a 5-star review if you can, and write a written review as well. So that way we can get this information out to as many people as possible. And share this with your friends and family. Share it with your enemy if you want to, just to try to get this information out there. But thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.